Hello folks, and welcome to this week's show. You know, for me, trapping is about making memories. Yeah, sure, it's great to go out and have all the big catches, but memories for me is where it's at. This week, me and my good buddy Jason Webster, we're headed to Mississippi, and we're going to be making some memories with these on some Mississippi beavers. This is trapping time.
Well, look who I got out of bed this morning to go check traps. Never gets old seeing those dogs bouncing.
This is my story. This is my time. This is Trapping Time. Trapping Time is brought to you by Trapping Girl Incorporated, Night Outlaws, Old South Lures, Southern Snares and Supply, Smokey's Deer Lure, Trap Shed Supply, Webster's Predator Control, Duke Traps, Wolf Creek Products, Sawmill Creek Baits and Lures.
Alright guys, this was a bit of a slam dunk here. This trash pile was already here. I was setting some traps down below yesterday, and as I came up the side, I thought I'm gonna walk that in here. I can hear this water rushing. So I come down in here, and all this stuff was already here. It was all jammed up like this. As you can see, this is what you're looking for. These little pinch points like this. You look beside me, nothing's gonna go through that garbage. They're gonna try and find the easiest way through. Where's the easiest way through? Where this water's rushing. This log came out here, and as you can see, I had my H stand in right here. This beaver come down through here, and he was just trying to get up through the creek. He's not gonna climb over these trees. Otters the same way. They're gonna go the easiest path. And we caught us a really big beaver. Guys, I'm 6'2", nose to tail. That beaver is gonna push well over 4 feet. Well over 4 feet. And just judging by weight, that's gonna be close to a 50-pound beaver, at least. It's huge, real big. It's simple sets like this though that make it really easy as trappers to come in here, because there was no place this beaver was going to go. We're hoping an otter slides in here too, but there's no place they're going to go except through here. Now we're going to take and reset the trap, get it set back up there. I might pull some of this trash back to make it look a little bit better, just to kind of control him in a little bit more. So let's get him out of here, get a good look at him, and get this trap remade. Now we're just going to take it, get on these H stands. We're going to try and get it pushed back down in all the way. And where it's at, I'm not too concerned about it being completely underwater, because they're going to trash this thing right back in, and you're not even going to know it. He's wanting through here. He's going to have to go this way. Take your T-bar and run it down through here, because we don't want to take the chance of him, just like that beaver there. That beaver wouldn't have been barred off. God knows where he would have ended up. But we're going to just pull this trash back in and make him go through there again. Try to keep it as natural as you possibly can. Not so much for the beavers as it is the otters. There you go. anything coming down through here, if they want down at that other end, that's what they're going to have to do. Awesome. Once again, another successful beaver in Mississippi. Good times.
From the hills of West Virginia, Smokey's Deer Lures presents the first and only real pre-orbital gland lure in the world. Applying pre-orbital gland lure to a licking branch will allow you to take a complete inventory of the bucks at your favorite hunting spot. Get yours at smokiesdeerlure.com.
This portion of the show has been brought to you by the Duke Pro Series 550 Offset Cool Spring Trap. Be sure to check it out wherever Duke traps are sold.
Hey folks, I want to share with you one of my favorite lures on the line, Sawmill Creek's Bailey Holla. This lure is a thick, pasty lure that has plenty of calling ability for fisher, martin, as well as late season canines and cats. It's so much more than just your typical skunk LDC lure. When you're looking for a lure that appeals to a variety of animals, Bailey Holla better be in your
We're here
bag.
in Mississippi. We're chasing otters and beavers. I had a 330 here in this creek, this overflow coming out of this big lake, and this runs down through here into two other ponds below us. But I had a 330 brushed in here, up there. Looks like we connected on a big Mississippi beaver on this one. We'll go up here and see if we get a little better look at him. Yeah, that is definitely a brute. I mean, how he thought he was ever going to go through that 330 is beyond me. But I mean, that's what happens. You get a good brushed in set, and they're used to just forcing their way through the brush. So we'll go ahead and get him out of here. We're going to get this set reconstructed. I actually had him up there just a little bit further where the weeds and the rocks kind of pinch it down a little tighter of a pinch point. So yeah, big beavers there. Landowner will be definitely happy to get this thing out of here. Been having some problems with him blocking up his overflows on his ponds here. Okay, we got the beaver out of our 330. Here's where we actually had him, even though he got down the creek a little bit. But here's our H stand that we had him set in. The reason I picked this spot, they're coming over and off that dam and down past the overflow pipes, and they're using this overflow channel to go down to the other lake below us. So take our 330. We can get it back on our H stands here. Rebend our triggers back. It's got things bent up here a little bit. But we'll get that set back in there. Guys, you're using the 330s, just be careful with them because, I mean, they're not very forgiving and they do hurt. I mean, you get a hold of that trap, you want to hold it over the top. See, a lot of guys want to hold it like this or like this. I don't care how fast your reflexes are. If that thing would slip and go off, you're not going to outreach that or get back outside of that 10-inch reach. So hold it over top of it like this until you have it good and set. And I like to keep my hands on it until I have everything set in place. We'll get that firmly down in there. We're going to leave our safeties on until we're done brushing it in, just because we're moving sticks around so we don't accidentally fire that off. We're going to take some stuff and we're going to kind of brush it down a little bit. I mean, it doesn't have to look like a fort or anything, but you just want a little bit to help guide him in. You want it to kind of look natural, like some brush. It just washed up in here. I mean, they're used to it. If you look up and down this creek and behind me, they're used to forcing through all that stuff. Now, if you can see this, the way these stands are, they don't set down in the situation that we're in, and we have that gap with all that exposed. Now, what I had done before, we'll get a little bit of some grass and some little brush and stuff. We're just going to kind of take that and just be real careful, guys, because now you are working in the danger zone on it. We're just going to kind of lay that in there, kind of camouflage that bottom a little bit, so when he's coming down through here, all that metal's not sticking out and showing so bad. And that's about it. Want to get in here and make sure you get your safeties off. I've definitely forgot them several times, and I paid the price. Come back the next day and I had the trap fired off and it wouldn't have closed all the way. Always makes you wonder what you missed, if it was a beaver or an actual otter that day that came through. So I want to get those off. We're going to T-bar this thing back down. It's the biggest thing. Just want to kind of get it brushed in and keep it looking natural so it doesn't stand out so bad, so you don't raise the suspicions. That's pretty much a remake on that beaver set. We'll get on down the line here and see if we've got any more, and then hopefully tomorrow we can connect on another beaver or get lucky enough to snag another Mississippi otter.
I know we may make it look easy here on television, but there's a lot of work that goes into trapping these beaver. When we come back, we're going to hook up with Nick Biggs from Southern West Virginia on the Trapping Time Set of the Week.
Well, you see, trappers are a special breed of people. We're dedicated, committed, and passionate about what we do and who we are. Each and every one of us has an intense desire to be the very best we can. So in the world of skinny jeans, man buns, and pumpkin spice lattes, sometimes you just have to stop, push back, and tell the world, that's not me. Whether you're from the far north or in the deep south and anywhere in between, Southern Snares can help you succeed at getting the job done and being who you are.
Folks, be sure to check out our all-star lineup for the upcoming season. New for 2018 is the hard-hitting Blackout Predator bait. If you're looking for a beaver-based bait with some kick, this is it. We're also proud to add to the batting order our line of mouse-based baits. If you're looking for a mice bait so pure it's practically eating cheese in the container, then you will want to try Peyton's Pretty Mouse. Maybe you're looking for a bait with some long-range appeal for those cold winter nights, then you've got to try Peyton's Dirty Mouse. When you're serious about trapping predators like we are, then be sure to make your next purchase at TrappingTimeTV.com.
Hey guys, Nick Biggs here with Biggs Time Trapping. I wanted to share with you a set we use to take a lot of bobcats. It's on basically a point. There's a road coming off here, and then we're basically sitting right on the road. We catch a bunch of bobcats here every season. We use the same set. Very simple, but highly effective. I just wanted to share it with you. First of all, dig your trap bed. All right, that trap is rock solid, not going to move on you. We got this set up on a drag. When I cat trap, I don't really hide the chain. I like to pre-hook my drags. This main road here, that way you get your animal off the trail. And I'll pre-hook it like that. And that way when he gets caught and he starts pulling against it, his natural instinct is going to go back to the drag, which is going to take him up that road and get him out of sight. Next thing is polyfill under your pan, or a pan cover if that's what you use. I prefer polyfill. Then I'm a peat moss guy. Love it or hate it. It tends to work for us. We never have any problems. So if you'll notice, I pack it in there good, but I keep that pan uncovered because I want to know where that pan is. Right there. Actually, when you're cat trapping, you could leave that pan uncovered and it wouldn't hurt you at all. I know some folks aren't confident enough to do that, but you know, cats don't care whether that thing's covered or not. But I always like to take just a little bit of the dirt from the trap bed, and that's it, just enough to cover that up a little bit in case a coyote were to come by here. So what we do on this set is a lot of the debris from our trap bed and a little bit that we can gather up. In order to make this thing even more flashy, I like to build up what I consider like a horseshoe. Not only is that a big hole, we've got a horseshoe. We've basically got a big barrier around it, and cats are easy to guide. You want to block them down really heavy. Build up that berm. And I know you're watching this and you're thinking there's no way, but that's absolutely going to entice that cat. When he comes in here, we've already got the low spot in the pan. We've got a big hole. We're going to put some goodies in there. And this berm around our trap pan is absolutely going to make that cat come in here and step right over that. I don't know how many bobcats we've caught on this set. It's very easy, it's very simple, and it's very effective. Last thing we're going to do is we're going to bait it. This is Webster Predator Control SK mice meat. It is deadly on predators. We absolutely wear the cats out with it. Put it way down the bottom of that hole. And another thing to keep in mind about cats is a lot of guys focus on their visual. They'll hang tinsel and they'll hang CDs and things of that nature to get their attention, but cats get bored very easy. So I always, when I'm cat trapping, I like to use multiple lures. And this is Webster's Predator Control Cat Attack. I'll smear it on one side of that hole. And then I'll take another one. This happens to be Bang Tango by Capital Punishment, or by Southern Snares. Brian McKee, it's very good stuff. I'll smear it on the other side of that hole. And then I'll take Bobcat urine. And I like basically I use a lot of urine, some guys don't. I like to coat that in the urine. The last thing we do to finish this set is we use feathers. But where I'm at, they have to be synthetic. They have to be artificial. Our laws say we can't use any exposed carcass or any parts of the animal to attract or bait over unless it's covered. So we go by the artificial feathers. I like white because it sticks out good. Put one in the hole, put it kind of around there. And now what we've got is we've got a cat set with all kinds of visual attractant, all kinds of oral stimulation, so they're not only going to see it, they're going to smell it. These feathers are going to hopefully make this thing think something has drugged something into that hole, and those are the feathers left over. I believe if you use this set, it's a simple blown out dirt hole with a big mound to step over with your pan in a shallow hole. You'll absolutely wear the cats out. I hope you have lots of luck with this out there. Good luck.
Hey man, Nick, that was an awesome set. Now let's get back to the beaver action.
Hey folks, Robby Gilbert here, host of Trapping Time TV. Hard to believe, Season 5. We'd like to give a big shout out to all the fans who made this possible. To show our appreciation, we're offering 10% off our entire website from now until December 31st, 2019. Just enter coupon code TRAP10. We carry a full line of trapping supplies such as Duke traps, Webster's Predator Control baits and lures, Sawmill Creek, Trap Set Supply, Old South lures, Night Owl lures, and many more. Before your next trapping purchase, enter TRAP10 and take advantage of all the great deals at TrappingTimeTV.com.
From the hills of West Virginia, Smokey's Deer Lures presents the first and only real pre-orbital gland lure in the world. Applying pre-orbital gland lure to a licking branch will allow you to take a complete inventory of the bucks at your favorite hunting spot. Get yours at Smokey'sDeerLure.com.
All right, we're down here in Mississippi. This creek right here, I found a place where the beavers were crawling up on it, and I hung a snare on it the other day. From down here, I can tell something's got the ground pretty tore up, so we're going to walk in here and see if we was able to connect on a snared beaver or not. We got one. We snared him coming up this slide right here. It's not exactly the snare we was looking for. We got him actually by the tail, which means he was able to get a little bit too far through it. So we're going to get him untangled here and dispatched and see if we can get this snare put back in this trail here and show you how we had this set up here. Okay, we'd snared ourselves a beaver on this crawl up here where they were coming up here to clip off this bamboo. We got the beaver out of the snare. Now the setup that we were running, we've got 3 30-seconds 7x7 cable using for an extension, but our snare is actually a 1x19 5/64 with a slim lock on it. But by using this setup, we're able just to take our S-hook off, and we can hook our new snare right back on it, leave our extension cable the same, pinch this S-hook down here, and that's basically the change out as far as getting the snare set up. Now our support wire, we found it knocked down over. I'm using a number 11 gauge wire for support, and I've bent a W on the bottom of it so that when you stick it in the ground, you have something to bite on it, and when they hit it, it doesn't want to turn. If you use just a single strand, when they hit the snare, the whole wire is able to turn. Now what we've done right here in the center of this crawl up, you can see exactly where the center of it is. You want that snare dead center in there. So back here to the side, we just kind of took this support wire with that W and stuck it down in the mud good. So we have a good solid support for that snare. When an animal hits that snare, nothing should be able to move but just that lock. You don't want that snare to be able to do this on that support wire. Now for the beaver, we want about an 8-inch loop, and we're going to put the bottom of that loop about 2 inches off the ground. I'm using a plastic support collar for our wire so we get a good snug fit. And you just want to you got to kind of play with it a little bit, twisting that wire and twisting that support. Because two of the biggest things, you don't want that snare touching the ground because you don't want any drag on it. And you want that snare loop, regardless of the angle of the ground, you want that snare to be right with that ground. You don't want that ground at an angle like that and say that snare laying over like this. You want it straight perpendicular to the ground. So you just got to kind of, takes a little bit of tweaking sometimes, moving it around, bending your wire and twisting your support a little bit so that you get that good angle on that snare. Want to check it? We're still right about 8 inches. We're probably about an inch off the ground. Want to be up just a hair more, because now with a beaver, he's actually going to step into this thing. Where a lot of your coyotes and foxes, you want to hit that neck and have them shoulders trigger that. A lot of your beavers, as they go through it, they're going to start to be able to step through that just a little bit before they fire that lockdown. Now what we've done, just to entice them in case that evening they weren't coming up here, we use a little bit of Trapping Time's beaver lure, and just right up here in front of it, we take just a little bit, and we'd stuck it up here to give him a reason to come up here and something to investigate, just in case that particular night they weren't using this slide. And that's really about it, guys. The things with snares, they're fast, easy, and it's a numbers thing. Because they're so fast, you want to try to get as many snares out as you can, cover up as many trailways, which is the benefit of them being so fast. You can run a whole lot more of them, but your catch percentages a lot of times aren't the same as when you're setting steels or 330s blocking up waterways. But definitely a cool thing, walk up and catch a beaver in a snare. But it's just another tool to add to your arsenal. A lot of places where you may not be able to run a foothold, or you definitely don't want to run a 330 because of dogs or chances of domestics. So if you've never ran one, get some, try them. They're definitely a cool thing to play around with.
Hey, I really hope you enjoyed this week's show. We had a lot of fun down in Mississippi. We look forward to that trip every year just so we can get on those beavers. Be sure to join us next week. Jason Webster and I are hooking up again. We're going to be chasing some Pennsylvania muskrats. And like we always say, until next time, we're keeping the tradition alive here at Trapping Time.